So I'll make a motion to call the meeting to order.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting was properly noticed. Adoption of the agenda.
Motion made adopt. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval of the meeting minutes from July 15th.
Move to approve. Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Okay. One comments?
No.
Okay. Okay, so let's start off with the July financial review. I don't know if you all saw my email to Ray. And there are just some things that we've got to continue to reconcile that don't, when you look at the capital fund, it doesn't necessarily tie out to the Crow financials, and some of those numbers are different. But Ray just clarified the due from operating for the capital fund went up from 180,000 to 301,000.
From 171,000 to 300,000, yes.
Yeah. So, but Ray confirmed that's some of the resale capital fees that weren't transferred from operating to capital yet. So.
Do they automatically go into operating and then you have to transfer them, journal entry or something every month?
No, the one that I have to do manually is going to be the resale one. The one from the capital allocation that happens automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when a home is resold, we receive it in operating and then you transfer it to capital?
Correct, yeah.
Why can't it just be posted right to capital?
I mean, the transaction is posted, but the transfer of the funds, it has to be done manually.
Or we receive all the cash in operating?
Yes.
I got
They
it.
go-
That's where the receipts to the bank. Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
got it.
And then as you can see here,
There's two steps there.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Is
Yeah.
it, they go to Texas?
Go CIT, I assume.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is our operating fund.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is in Texas, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
we had a conversation.
Corporate, yeah, corporate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys can see here, you're gonna see these are the only two, and I don't know if am I sharing my screen? One second.
No.
Okay.
All good.
Perfect. So this is the $171,000, the beginning balance,
Right.
300,000 the ending balance. These are gonna be the two capital improvement fund allocations that we have pending. Was gonna be the one from January and the one from March.
Okay.
Up to June 26, we had transfer a total of $666,000. That covers these two allocations. What's pending now is gonna be $90,000 from the resale allocation that we have from May, and then 100% of the June resale allocation and the July resale allocation. And you're gonna see it. Gonna see here. 90,000, the 90,000
Okay.
we have here in balance, and then June and July. That's gonna be your 301.
And that's moving over or has moved over already?
That I have to move from operating to capital. Yes.
So that'll drop your operating fund to about 900,000 off of this balance sheet.
If I transfer 100% of it, yeah.
Yeah. That's enough to work with, isn't it? Liquidity wise?
So far, yeah, this is the first month of the quarter, so.
Okay. We'll talk about the treasury bills later, probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
That means our capital fund is 4.2.
Yeah, 4.2.
Yeah, and going back to the discrepancy that we have in capital assessments, I mentioned that was in June. To capital was missing $10,000, so now in September, I can just like reallocate 10,000 more and we'll get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. Sorry, there's a lot of. Okay, summer breakout revenues and expenses are way under budget. I guess you're still waiting to pay all the bills and.
Yes, so currently for summer camp or
Breakout.
summer breakout camp, yeah. I have pending review in the revenue. like a rough estimate, we run a report from that, which is the system that we're using to get all the bookings.
Okay.
The rough estimate for total revenue is close a little bit over $50,000. Currently, we have allocated $38,000 to summer breakout camp, and I have on deferred revenue $13,000 still that needs to be allocated.
Okay.
The reason why I haven't done that before is because I want to do a reconciliation between our dash system, our rental revenue, and our sales revenue with Stripe and Square, which are going to be our processing systems that we're using for the payments, and our bank account to make sure that whatever I allocate to summer breakup camp ties with what we have in our reports. But if the 13,000 that I have in deferred right now belongs to summer breakup camp, we're going to be in the $50,000 mark, which is aligned with what we have in budget.
Yep. Yep.
And then on the expense side, I need to reclassify close to $7,000 from July. We hire two summer camp temps that instead of allocating that to compensation, we're gonna move that to the summer breakout expenses.
Good. Good. Okay.
I just comment there, and I think what it was 60,000 that, or it was 54,000 for 2025. So that's fairly close in line. For the budget conversation, maybe we want to discuss about, I think right now it's 61,000 for the budget. Is that too high for next year? So just something to potentially discuss.
If they're gonna raise the fees or. We didn't come up with that number.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it sounds like the summer breakout was maybe not as popular as it was prior. So maybe that's something that we send that back to Parks and Rec just to re-review to see if that's appropriate based off of what the 2025 numbers were.
I think based on Nikki's initial review, they are net positive for the camp about $15,000.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll see what they come in at then.
Okay, maintenance at Spring Park, you had that 9,000 free on replacement, but the board did approve a new AC unit for Heritage Hall.
Close to $31,000.
And is that gonna be a capital or?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's a reserve expenditure.
Reserve, because it's a replacement?
Reserve, yes.
Spending life. This kid should be capped.
Yep, reserve.
The 9,000 that was
31,750.
spent. Yeah, the 9,000 that was spent in July was just so the AC unit could limp along through camp. And then the replacement was just approved by the board.
Okay.
Emergency.
Yes.
Silver alert, I'm here.
Right here. Yeah, we're working hard. Okay.
That was good.
Who's license number?
So, and the Mayberry contract ended August 17th.
Yes.
And next year it'll be a month less, at least.
There's mine. See, they got me.
That's everybody down.
I haven't gotten one yet.
Are we happy with that Mayberry thing? I mean, does anybody have any anecdotal information or any actual observations, how it did or how the behavior was? Or
We received a lot of positive feedback, and compared to the complaints last year that the board and management received about parties and other issues at the pools over the summer, we received minimal complaints about the pools this summer. And I think Jacob only got 1 or 2 calls this summer, pool related off hours. And I haven't seen any emails come in complaining about parties or issues at the pools.
Yeah, I will say, at least monitoring Island Village, between the Parks and Rec people and the Mayberry people, they were very, very good, both at the fitness center and the pool, checking all IDs. And I've seen probably 40 people being thrown out because they didn't have the right IDs or they didn't have IDs.
Really?
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's,
I mean,
that's
it's-
good.
It is because they'd go around the pool and look at everybody. They can bring some guests into the pool, but you can't to the fitness. So,
So we'll do it again.
yeah, no, I think. All right,
Those lines-
IT costs continue to go up. So I guess hopefully we can get a little bit of control over that as the year goes on. But like Ray said, it's similar to our repairs and maintenance and pool operating. They're trying to rein in a little bit. And then the compensation costs, which are high, as Ray said, some of that's going to be moving out to the summer camp. But it's also the 4th of July holiday overtime and as well. So that's why the compensation was higher than. Okay. That's all I had for July. Anybody else?
I've got a few things. We'll talk about liquidity in that later, as I said. I guess we'll wait for that. Just one observation, the owner assessments are down because of the Iron Village plats and so on. And if you look at the 202,000, we're down. Our deficit's 161,000 year to date. So the rest of our budget's pretty solid, some puts and takes, but we'd be up $40,000 positive if it weren't for the plats not being there. So maybe we just missed that. They came in late. I just can't believe that they can put those all through, but.
Lauren, you haven't heard anything from Tanner?
I actually just got a response from him today. The 2B plat was just approved by the county, so it's out for signatures and should be fully recorded with the county within 30 days. So you
Okay.
should start seeing revenue for Q4 and partial of Q3 from them for those 252 plats. And then on the sales of 2A homes, he's anticipating the first sales to go through late next week.
Yeah, they first came out to the people who were buying and said they wouldn't be available till October at the earliest. And they have been accelerating things like crazy on 2A to try and get now things done. The street lights are all up. Roads are all in, stop signs are all in. So I think people are going to start closing pretty quickly, especially some of the townhomes.
Good. Covenants, that covenant line caught my eye. We're down $20,000 year to date from our budget, covenant fees. And I don't know if we're maybe waiving fees or covenants aren't doing as much fining, or anybody have any idea why that would be off that much, $20,000 year to date?
So yeah, the board is waiving fees if people are in compliance by the time they get to their appeals meeting. And the covenants team, the community standards team has been working really hard with residents to get them into compliance so they don't get to the fining stage. And we're seeing less people with violations.
Is that a good thing then that we gave up this revenue?
Well, from a community standards perspective, yes, but it also looks like Gary has his hand up.
I think that 20,000 revenue income from a year ago was an anomaly. We just had a lot of people that paid their fines. Covenants violations and fining go up and down, sort of cyclic. It probably shouldn't have been transferred over into the new budget that high.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I've got a concern with electricity. I'm just concerned that we're gonna get some bills that we just weren't billed for. Run too low, even if you factor out the 851 building, we're $40,000 below budget, which I assume was pretty flat to last year without looking. 851 buildings down 8,900. The big numbers are in, North Village is down 18,000. As I said, the 851's down 8,900. So somebody maybe audit or make sure we got all our bills, or make sure every month is there and accounted for, look at the entries.
So you look at a comparison of the usage from last year and this year, because rates are higher this year.
Of the actual usage?
Actual rates are higher. So it's gotta be a usage thing where you knock out all the bills, make sure it's counted. Can we get a summary of the usage for each building for the first month compared to last year's months?
That I'll need to check how I can prepare that report. I need to check out, can I prepare a report comparing like usage for last year versus this year.
Yeah.
In terms of the bills, Duke Energy is currently on auto pay. So whatever invoice or bill we have pending for them, they automatically deduct the money from our bank account. So we shouldn't owe them right now anything. So we should.
Auto pay is working right.
Huh?
Auto pay sometimes rejects and there's problems with it. I've had personal experience, at least my wife has. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't always work the way it's supposed to, and all of a sudden they come back and say, hey,
It's a lot of money.
it just seems a little odd. to Be off that much this point in the year.
I can do.
Particularly the rates being higher than last year.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. The pool expenses were down or flat, I guess, obviously up year to date. Just wanted to ask Lauren or Jacob, the inspection being done by the new company, and they were going to make recommendations on certain improvements or changes we need to make. Where are we in that cycle?
We are actively moving through it. That's why I think you're going to be seeing an approval for some new sand filters coming in to the board on the next meeting of theirs. There's a few things here or there. We're changing our main vendor for leak detection and using Spies more for it based off of they're the ones doing the repairs and they're seeing it. So we're seeing it still, some expenses, but based on that. But hopefully we start to see it curve down. I mean, it wasn't as large. It wasn't a laundry list. I'll say that much. It's little things here and there, but not a laundry list of things that needed updated.
What kind of number would you put on the total of that inspection? How much?
I hesitate to give a number to that. I mean, it's because it's going to be hitting as they are really diving into each system. I mean, Lakeside was a big one that they dived into first, and East Village. I haven't heard much from North Village yet or Spring Lake. I know that the kiddie pool, so it just depends on what I've seen them coming through. I mean, if I can say like 13 to 15,000, but that's what I'm expecting in the next couple of months as well, not just in a 1 month hit.
Okay.
And is that going to be replacement or is that going to be all probably operating expense, or where do you think it's going to fall?
We received from Spies. Yeah, we recently received from Spies like 3 invoices, around maybe total like 15 to 20K that were approved to be paid out of reserve.
Okay.
Yeah, anything large is typically going to be hitting reserves. I know the sand filters is going to be a reserves. It's just still some of those smaller maintenance ones. I think that we're going to start seeing those smaller maintenance ones out of the operating start to decrease sooner.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Repair and maintenance, just to normalize the numbers, if you take out the $36,000 credit that's in the year to date, it's a $256,000 expense against a $90,000 budget. So we're up 55% there. So it's running very high. Frank said the right thing, very high. I did see on LinkedIn that we were talking about insourcing some maintenance items and saving our community money. Could we get some examples of what kind of insourcing we're doing and what the economics of it look like?
Saw or AstroTurf annualized maintenance and refluffing. That's about $2,000 every single playground that we've brought in-house. We've done 2 playgrounds this month. And that costs only time of labor and some bags of sand. So it went from about a $4,000 expense to a $200 expense. Refurbishing trash cans. Trash cans for this town are about $2,800 each. We had 3 that I already deemed that were going to need to be replaced that they brought in-house and sandblasted down. Parts of them were able to refinish those. Bench repair. They've done more bench repairs to prevent us from needing to do bench replacements. And they're learning more concrete skills. So continuing to do pours of concrete in-house. So we're not needing to contract out as much. We're going to start seeing some concrete work going out with some sidewalk repairs, but that's a reserve item that's been budgeted anyway. That's a separate project.
Well, that $250,000, what would be the breakdown between third-party labor and material? You have that?
You have to run a report on that one.
Mhm.
We can break that out for you, but we'd have to run a report on that one.
Okay. Like to see it.
And we're still waiting for the inventory?
Yes, we're gonna get that to you. We've had some leadership unexpectedly out because we'd expected to have it to you for this, but you will get that.
Thanks. This ties in the joint committee and the P and L. I see in the summary report, we put that on there, the overage that we have or the deficit in terms of the performance year to date of the CJC budget.
Yeah.
And right now we're at a almost $57,000 surplus that'll come back to us. So we'll pick up 40,000, 45, whatever it is, if it stays at that level till the year end. Why can't we see the CJC budget on a period basis? Why don't we see it?
Why don't? Because that's not a CROA.
Yeah.
Responsibility.
But we're paying money and we're connected.
Yeah.
A financial interest in how that performs. And we're getting this little sidebar comment now that there's a $57,000 surplus because we got surprised a couple of years where we didn't see it. And I said, can't we track it? So now we track it. So we know if we're over or below and we've got a problem or not. But I just,
But it's funded to be at zero every year.
but there's a lot of, what's happening is, I'm sure Lauren or Jacob could comment on it. It's got a lot of compensation in it and we have a lot of vacancies that come every so often.
Yeah.
And we're picking it up on the vacancy side.
Let me add that as a thing for me to do.
Okay.
Publicly there.
I don't have any real secret desire, but it seems like we should be able to just spot it.
Yeah. Lauren, what'd you say?
I was just gonna add, would it be something where, just like CROA produces the financials monthly, when you have your CJC meeting, you produce the financials publicly for the community?
I'll look into this. Because it's not that simple, because it's not just CROA money. So we can't just share things because it's not CROA's money
Well,
exclusively.
it's about 87% now or something in that range.
Sure, sure,
So I think
absolutely.
in the
I'm not,
world, that'd be material.
I'm not defending or I'm not picking a side on this. I'm just saying what the facts of the circumstance are. So I will,
Is that
Look
something
into
the DHC board has approved? Sharing it with?
yeah, maybe. Yep. Sure.
Yeah, I guess two options would be then if they don't want to go publicly, is it something that can agree to be shared with at least the finance committee as an extension of the board, something of that nature?
As the extension of what board? The CJC board?
The CROA.
The CROA board doesn't have review of CJC financials either.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, where CROA and Kanoa agree that the CROA finance committee can see that on a monthly basis. That's agreed upon by that cohort.
It should be available, it would be available on an information request, but we're putting 87% of the revenue into this thing, and I think we should be able to look at it. I can't understand any argument that would say we shouldn't, but Jared said he will look into it.
I said I will look into it.
We'll defer to that. Okay.
Maybe CJ.
What other interest, what's our vacancy rate right now? How many open positions do we have?
3.
So we stay right around 3 to 4 all the time, pretty much. That's where we're hanging.
I'd say 2. I mean, one of these is going to be filled in a week. And
Okay.
one was just one was a resignation right as we filled a spot. So
Okay, thanks.
welcome.
That's it, Jim.
Okay, anybody else on July? Okay, we'll move forward, just
a
really.
couple of
bring-
comments, and I think Matt might be on mute for his as well, but just looking at it right.
I'm sorry, I'm on mute. I have one comment. So going back to our, how we recognize revenue on Island Village Lot 2B, it's clearly obvious to me as, you know, under accounting, that we've prematurely recorded that revenue all year long. And the appropriate accounting treatment would be now, in 30 days, whatever the number I heard, when it's approved, that's the first point that any of that money for accruing quarterly dues should be recorded as revenue in our financial statements.
We have
So-
not, no, we haven't recorded that.
Just in the budget.
Is it just in the budget?
So what's the 172,000 overage in the financial statements? Is there anything we recorded prematurely there that's not gap?
No. Phase 2A was secured at the end of last year. That's 84.
No, but we talk about being over budget, right? Having not enough revenue. So what is that from? Is it from something we did too prematurely on Island Village?
No,
We
we were,
collected prematurely.
yeah, we were told last year by Mattamy Homes that they would secure all of phase 2, A and B, before the end of the year. So that's why it went into the budget.
But
We were
not on the
trusting what
financial.
Mattamy was telling us. And
Right.
now they put off phase 2B until next month.
But none of that's, this is a budget comment, as opposed to an actual recorded item in the financials.
Correct.
Yeah, Matt, which if you look at the HOA dues, that's why we're down like 200,000. Because that was expected in the budget, but it hasn't been captured at all on the revenue side.
I see. Okay. Got it. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, just a couple comments and positive for going into the end of the year. Obviously, the summer expense for Mayberry, that's like 20,000 a month. And then if we actually get the IV phase 2 plats to start paying, that's another 29,000. So if in the perfect world we had those plats and we didn't have the summer coverage, then we would have been positive 4,000 this month. So hopefully we'll start to get rid of those headwinds that we've had earlier in the year and over the summer to assist us in more positive monthly balances going into the end of the year. And then one comment for Ray, it looks like under landscaping for the budget amount, it was 0 for July. So if you can just update that to the 12,500 for accuracy of what's there, but everything else looked appropriate that I saw.
Which line? I'm sorry, Andrew. Landscaping, which line?
Yeah, if you're on page 10,
Yeah.
or sorry, the mulch, right? Mulch and pine straw. That was.
Oh, yeah.
0.
The budget.
Budget, because we thought it would be just 1 month or 2 months, 2 different months. One in the spring, one in the fall.
Yeah, so we were kind of like anticipating this question because we talked about last meeting that on the budget, we were supposed to like split all the numbers evenly throughout the 12 months. So mulch and seasonal flowers are 2 of the lines that weren't split equally. So in June for mulch, we had in our budget $47,000 and we didn't get any expenses for June. Now we have an additional $75,000 in the budget that are currently sitting on September. So for July and August, we didn't budget for anything related to mulch. That's why you have 0 on that line.
Yeah, and that's going to last month's conversation, just the inconsistency, right? Where if we're going to do it by 1/12 for a number of line items, why aren't we doing it for that one too? But that's just more of presentation style that we have the expense, but it looks like we haven't budgeted for it. But truly, we have half the year budget left and we're not applying it. So that's just more of the monthly discrepancy that I see.
Yeah, if you guys want, I can take that 75,000 and do a similar split to what we did with the landscape annual replacement and just like spread that out from July up to December, or we just leave it at that and we don't play anymore with the budget. Well,
Yeah, I would just leave it. we all know what it is now, so by the end of the year, it should even out.
Yeah,
So,
75 left, right?
75,000, yes,
Yeah.
in September. Yep.
Okay, anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, moving along, just a quick talk about funds forecast. I think Wednesday, Lauren, are we gonna have RFPs for the sport courts?
Yes, you will.
Yes, yes, you will, along with, some commentary on them from Jacob and myself as management representatives and from the stakeholder group.
Okay, great.
What's the timeline for contracting that?
Based on everything that we're seeing in terms of drawing time from the proposed timelines from the respondents, you're looking at a contract for a GC for building in March of next year.
Okay,
Yeah, and once.
So
we-
we're trying
once
to
we finalize
escalate it
851
and push it.
okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, once we finalize the cost for 851.
That will decide when that actually starts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how 851 is gonna be spent.
Yep.
So that's the most critical thing. And then if we need to push off the sports courts for a few months.
Yep.
we will do that, but I mean, with a capital fund effectively at 4.2 million right now. And now the splash pad still only has spent
100 and something.
50,000.
Yeah. We got pending 411,000 from the splash pad and two additional capital expenses that were approved by the board, totaling $431,000 from capital pending right now.
Pending.
Yeah.
What were those?
We have All-Star Electrical, and it was, it was all related to the splash pads.
But it's not 431 additional, it's
No,
431.
so you have the total splash pad, so
Oh,
it's been
oh,
paid,
it would-
the total 600.
Okay.
Yes, it was scope gaps,
That's what I thought.
It's gonna be
but we knew about it. It was the electrical and the fencing maybe. Yeah.
411,000 from the splash pads, and then we have $12,000 for All-Star Electrical.
Yeah.
The splash pad electrical work, and then we have the plumbing for the splash pads. That's gonna be an additional 7,700. So
all splash pad.
yeah, so in total, it's gonna be 431,000 pending for us to pay out of the capital.
Yep.
Not including the 851 building.
Yeah.
But the total project's gonna run close to 600. Say we paid 100 and some already.
We paid 113,000 already.
Okay, so it's gonna be 550 or whatever.
Which is still in budget for the whole
Yeah.
budget, even with the two scope
Thought we were
gaps.
thinking around 600. weren't we?
Yeah.
Or over 600.
I don't know the exact number.
It was six.
Six.
I remember.
Shooting for, but then the original contract came in less, so.
Yeah, so
Right.
it was approved by the board was $524,500.
And I think some concrete work and some other things.
Right. And I'm sure there'll be a landscaping something that is coming last minute and all those things, but we're still gonna be within.
Okay, and placement fund is kind of holding its own at 1.2 million. Things have slowed down a little bit, I think, from the reserve spending, so that's a good thing. And hopefully we can keep it at that level, get into next year with the 1.4. So. Anybody have any other comments on funds?
Let's talk about the treasury notes. I think we lapsed the one that's September, we said, let that go to cash. That came out of the capital, right? I think we decided that.
Yeah, in the last email that I sent to you guys, yeah.
That was the 9/4/2025, so that went to cash.
Correct. So, yeah. If it is if everybody agrees, yeah, then I'll send a notification to the bank for them to liquidate the investment.
I think we already said that, but then the other one was that replacement fund that's on 10/30, that's 270,000. We got one on 10/2 in the capital fund of 409,000. Do we think we need to do anything with those? We're gonna have the one come in. Do we need any more cash right now?
Let's see, let's.
851, we can do this on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
We can look at it
We
monthly.
can look at it, see if the home sales continue at a higher rate.
Yeah, the one that is 10-2, so we got up till 10-2, so you got the
Yeah.
whole month of September, you probably
Yeah.
make a decision.
Make a decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, accounts receivable update.
Yeah, so we were talking about, I'll have to report for you guys with a probably say Thursday, but currently the bigger, driver that we have right now is still Astoria. Out of the 800,000 Astoria owes, 35-40% with $101,000, $301,000, I'm sorry. As I mentioned earlier, they were already referred to the collections lawyers, so it is out of our hands. Now it's up to them to see, if they work on a payment plan or if they can just like pay everything up front or. But that's the only big item of it.
Have we restricted the residents' privileges?
We've been doing that on a monthly basis. Now for the next board meeting, I need to run a delinquency report again. And whatever, wherever the residents have like a balance of 100% one assessment, like if they were, if they're up to behind 90 days, on one monthly assessment, that will refer them to the board and the board's gonna move to have the amenity access revoked.
Can somebody do a little work to figure out who owns that place now? What's behind the ownership?
For Astoria?
Yeah. If you come up with a name, I can look into it a little bit too, but I don't even know who to think about there.
Yeah,
Lauren?
Mike, I can send it to you.
Okay. I just wonder what their history is and their integrity and behavior and all those good things.
They haven't sold that I've seen in the last few years, so it's this, we have the same cycle with them like every other year.
You know, it sold when they condemned it.
Right, well, yeah, they got it cheap, but then they put some money in it
Yeah.
and I'm worried that it's some kind of crazy hedge fund now that's just, raping it.
Of course.
Excuse my French.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Cash on cash.
Especially because they needed, it was a bad investment.
No, this is a new player. They're playing with house money. They came,
Oh, I was thinking of Delamar.
yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, they came in and scooped this one up. They're
Yeah.
playing with house money. Okay,
Right, they
so
went through
they're,
bankruptcy court in New York, at some point, not long ago, that long ago.
yeah, that's when they had the structural problems, probably. Okay, well, you said it's 100,000?
301,000.
301, okay, that's better, yeah.
So,
Because they must have 400 units in there, right? I guess I could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are they, what's the level of occupancy? Do we know?
No, but that, we pay per units, not per occupancy.
No, but I.
he's wondering if they have cash.
Jared, I was asking from a point of view, if they have 90% of their units occupied, it's hard for them to argue poverty, did not pay our fees. That's why I asked that.
They're gonna fake distress, obviously, but they were bottom fishers to buy that thing and take the risk on it, so. Okay,
Hopefully we'll get it.
stay close to that one. You said the lawyers are involved?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the 2026 budget. Would say at this point, the most debated issue is capital fund. 250 or 300,000. Or we can compromise at 275.
I will say that as from my board perspective, I agree with you on the 250, on maintaining the 250. I understand that we want to put more money, we want to do things. I don't think that it's necessary now.
Yeah, I just don't think 50,000 is going to make a difference on our capital projects. So probably not. And depending on how the capital fee continues to increase down the road, there may not be any application. We can fund everything through the capital fees.
I also agree with getting it back to 500 in the future, which I know is the plan. So
Well, I'll make a comment,
Yeah.
because I'm on the other side, but I just, for the sake of argument. I don't think it's about whether it's going to change our trajectory in capital funds or anything like that. But we said we wanted to get under 10%. And to get under 10%, we needed to subsidize the rate. And we did that with the $250,000. And we subsidize it now down to 8.97 or whatever it is. And we can get to 9.75 and still do 300 and put 300 in capital, we do 200. And we've met our goal. We still subsidized it, but we met our goal of getting under 10%. So I don't know why we feel we've got to be under 9% now. It just doesn't seem like it's good stewards of our responsibilities. And yeah, we'd like to give the residents a break. It's $10 a year for a resident, $10 for a whole year, 4,900, whatever. So I just don't see why we're pressing to get under 8% or get into the 8% range. We said get under 9.
I don't think we had a goal to get on. It was an objective to get under 10%.
It was an aspiration. It was an aspiration that we had.
Yes.
And we didn't get there. We couldn't get there without subsidizing the rate.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, we couldn't.
So, well,
I guess just a comment, so, and I guess maybe you can help with this, Jim, but if we're thinking the increase in the capital resale is 1.5, we're budgeting this year, are you expecting it to be 1.75, 2 million next year? And that's why you feel that the 250 is enough this year, and going forward, that there's no reason to go back to 500, that 250 might be the new base level, or we might be getting so much from resale that that capital allocation is no longer necessary.
yeah, I don't know if we know that, like, we don't know if rates are gonna go down. We don't know if more people are gonna move to Florida or not move to Florida, things like that. So I think it's hard to project as to what that's gonna look like. But this year, I think we're gonna be about $1,450,000 is my forecast for this year for the capital fee, based upon the closings of phase 2A, and assuming the market picks up a little bit again, like it does in the fall.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine on resales.
Yeah.
I mean, we're running at over a 300 rate right now without having anything from Island Village yet.
Right.
I mean, we're on a path of 340, 350 homes right now. So we're going to be flush there. There's no doubt about that. But we just finished another period. We got a $45,000 deficit this period. We're 165,000 year to date. We don't know where that's going to go out. I shared this with Andrew and Jim. After the board meeting, I looked at the price sheet from Click on the 851 building. And it came in at 3.4 million. That's the number. You wanted to get it down a little bit from there. But what I looked at was the architectural and engineering fees had nothing in it. The permit fees had nothing in it. Those are all those are both exclusions. I don't think there's impact fees because it's not new. And then any other exclusions could be, come into play. But right now, architectural and permit fees certainly are something.
Those not, the architectural fees are in the Click contract, not.
They're in the exclusions that they're not paying. It's not in the contracting rate.
From DeAngelis Diamond, but we're paying that separately to Click Direct. So DeAngelis Diamond isn't carrying fees for that.
They're not the architects.
Yeah, Click is the architect.
It still raises the cost of the building.
Yeah.
You got 3.4 here, and then you've got to add in the architectural fees and the permit fees.
Yeah.
And a contingency, because you got 0 in contingency right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not to exceed numbers, isn't it?
Well, that's the 3.4.
Unless the board.
The not to exceed has a blank in the design. There's a line for it, but the design fee is blank. And then the architectural engineering fees and the permit fees are in general exclusions.
What would they be doing as an architect?
We've got to have drawings that go to the permits.
Permits, I understand.
We got to have drawings to get a permit.
Don't they already have the drawings?
I don't think they've got an architect drawing it yet. I think you've seen a lot of conceptual stuff.
No, we have full architectural plan. They had to have that. Yes, we had to have that to bid it.
Aren't they gonna also review the subcontractor submittals to the prime contractor?
Yeah,
Okay, so the cost is gonna be covered there.
but that, I'm saying the cost for that is already part of our existing contract with the Calic Group, who's the architect of record. Lauren, jump in if I'm saying anything incorrect.
4 million plus, yeah.
It is, there is. a plus,
So
yes, plus
the
permits.
architectural drawings are completed and done. Jared is correct. The architect of record is Calic. And so those fees are paid through their contract. The permitting fees are separate, and it's the one thing that's not fully accounted for in the GMP or in the Calic agreement, but we're working through that process right now. And DeAngelis and KPMF will be refunded for the permitting costs through this process. And we can get those numbers for you guys if you want them. And then the DeAngelis number, the 3.4 and change, is the total not to exceed for the renovation.
Which is short permits.
No, which is short, the big number is the contingency,
Sure.
change orders, those kind of things. And a contingency normally is gonna run probably 5 to 15%.
But you don't,
10%.
you don't do a contingency on a GMP.
Unless there's changes.
Right, but
If the county, well, if the county, no, if the county comes back,
Mhm.
a lot of changes, those drawings, the contractor will charge you extra. I've been in that business. I know how it works.
I'd have to, I mean, I read the entire contract. I'd have to look at that again to see what,
Look at that, because normally they bid on a certain set of drawings.
sure.
Okay, goes to the county for permit approval. County bleeds all over it, comes back, oh, this is an extra. It's gonna cost you $20,000.
Yep.
That's what I think we gotta be concerned about, because I don't believe the $3 million, no. That size building.
I think you need to ask DeAngelis, what are they gonna put in that line for the design contingency? There's no contingency in this project whatsoever
That's all.
right now. So
I
they.
haven't seen this. What you're looking at, I have, that, the board has not been,
It was in the board book.
it was in the last board packet?
It was in the board
Okay.
package. So they're gonna put something in there and that's gonna increase, they don't wanna keep telling you it's going up. They heard you wiggling in the meeting the other night.
Yep.
So this 3.4 is gonna go up.
Sure. I mean, if
Fine.
it's gotta go up, it's gotta go up to the final number. We haven't signed anything. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
this is where we are.
But,
I still think 3.4 is too high.
well.
And,
but it's-
and I agree that it's missing two scopes.
Yeah, okay.
So,
So it's gonna go to 3.7 or 3.8 before you start to get it to your 3.2 or whatever you're thinking of.
sure.
I mean, that's the,
yes,
so my point
I don't
is,
disagree.
my point is giving money that I don't think we have to give to from anybody that's doing it, I would say emotional, but we're gonna have a bigger price tag here than you could even imagine. And then I think you gotta think about surprises that will occur too in a remodel. And anybody who's been through a remodel and said, come in under budget or on budget and on time, I'd like to meet that person.
There's no such thing.
Congratulations.
I've,
Budget.
we've done, been involved with buying 18 different companies in my career. And we always do inspections of the building. And we get a contract.
If I may, to support the point he's making is that we should increase our contribution to the capital fund, and we can still be under 10%. If we don't do this, we're falling trap to what we've been moaning about with both CROA and CCDD for the better part of 15 or 20 years. Why didn't we take care of that when we had time? So if we reduce it because we're a little bit afraid to go over a certain percentage, we're falling into the same mindset.
I disagree. Sorry. $50,000 is not going to make a huge difference in
Well,
anything.
It will with
I don't,
time.
Jim, I don't think you should think about the order of magnitude to either say, yes, I'm for it or no, I'm against it. Think about the process and what's the right thing to do, whether it's $100,000, it's $50,000 or it's $10,000. I think there's a right treatment of
We just
this
disagree.
money.
That's all.
Okay.
So we can have a vote of the
I guess
committee.
just one last comment before would be with what the board did with the CJC budget, right? We originally budgeted for 300, it came in at 273. So your first comment, Jim, was, do we just do 275? Well, maybe is that the number, right? That if we don't go all the way to 300, then do we look at it and say, the board did a good job in negotiating the CJC budget to get it went down 25,000, but we also got rid of the other associate role, the marketing specialist, whatever. So there was a cost savings there, but this is something that, as we look at the budget, we're allocating that 25,000 back into the capital fund rather than just as a savings this year on the dues.
I'll speak on that specifically because I was the one who did that negotiation and I didn't negotiate the CJC contract to be what it was. My sole purpose was, as I represent the homeowners, my sole purpose was to maximize the amount or minimize the amount of impact and maximize the amount of value for the homeowners. And so I didn't negotiate it lower so that we could go ahead and just charge them that money because we feel like that's a surplus. And I'll say that publicly in the meeting on Wednesday. That's not why that was done. It was done to minimize dues impacts on homeowners. And I feel that that savings should be passed along to the homeowners.
Well, we're already passing along $250,000 is what you want to pass along. So we're subsidizing it to that amount. So we've extended over and above. We're taking cash from our funds and saying that we normally would do and saying we're going to redirect that.
Sure.
So I mean, we're subsidizing the rate with reserves that we've had historically. Having said that, I'll go to 275,
Okay,
just in principle.
75,
I'm good with 275.
275?
I'm good.
All right,
I'm okay with that.
all right, we'll go to 270.
I'll vote for that.
Okay.
All right,
So that's great.
ready?
Jeez,
Change that. Right, budget.
you keep in mind,
That's 10%. That's
Lauren, do you have all of that for the meeting?
I've got it.
we split the
One
baby.
more budget item too, I wanted to touch
And
base.
the only other number, the company that sitting there is the 16,000 older in taxes, but I guess we'll just leave that.
They're farm fishers.
In case we need it for something else.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, as we talk about this, and, you know, CDD is a separate organization, but their problems could become our problems, obviously, because we're all part of the same organization. They've got a huge liability out there between the sidewalks and the slopes of the ponds that approaches or is at $10 million. So this 18% increase you saw, 17.8, whatever it was, this is just the beginning.
Yeah. That's it.
And they're gonna have to figure out if they're gonna try to issue a bond, can they get it bonded, because it's gonna be for certain areas and whatever else. But it doesn't matter, they're just gonna finance this hanging liability that they have. And it's either gonna come through very large annual increases, or it's gonna come in a lump sum that's gonna get financed over time. So there's some heavy duty financing coming to this town that is gonna have to be reconciled.
Yeah, and it also means there won't be a community center anytime
So
soon.
there's not gonna be a community center anytime soon.
No,
No,
that's what they're running into at CCD.
they've got at least $10 million worth of liability that's growing every day.
Okay, we good with the budget then?
Just
I,
one
I
last,
just have one question, Jim, for Jared. So will we know a solid final number on the 851 project before we all sign off on the budget? So that if some surprises in the final conversation happen, that it becomes 3.6 million, for whatever reason, we have a last look at the budget in increasing the dues or doing some other changes so that we've taken care of not kicking the can down the road any further.
No, we won't. The budget will be decided next Wednesday. I don't know that we will have final numbers and contract for 851 by then. But I don't think,
The surprises are gonna come during the process and during the activity with the change orders. That's where the shit's gonna hit the fan.
And again, if we have to put off some other capital projects in order. to
Right.
fund
We'll have to do that.
We certainly have to then.
We're gonna have to make some tough decisions.
I
That's what
had
we'll
a
do.
contract call with DeAngelis and Click at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It looks like you will have a final proposed contract and amount by noon on Friday this week, so hopefully it's in the board packet.
Good.
just,
Pay particular attention to the design contingency. You're gonna want the contingency in this, and Don't let them sit with zero, but don't lull yourselves to sleep.
Because there's two line items that I just want to touch base on. They're real small, but Ray, I don't know if you can pull it up for everyone in the room, but under general admin expenses, there's board supplies that I guess are budgeted for like 3,600 for the rest of this year. It's only been spent of 685, and we're looking at 5,000 for that number next year. And then safety staff supplies of 5,000 for next year when it was 0 in 2025. Since those are such minuscule breakouts, is it appropriate that we just push that under miscellaneous rather than having those two broken out in that specific manner? Or do we just-
Every time we do that, someone wants to see what miscellaneous is made out of. Just leave it how it is. We don't have shareholders that we have to distribute this and that are gonna nitpick it apart. Everybody wants to know what miscellaneous is. That's my opinion.
No, I agree.
As an auditor, I agree with that comment, Jared.
But every so often you have to reconcile it and calibrate it because it gets too big and then we've got to go in and
What miscellaneous? Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
pick out the big pieces.
And at the start of every budget, everyone says, Lauren, break this out, break this out. How do we get to 21,000 here? How is this 46,000? And then we do it
Just
and
track
Teresa
it
does
right.
it and we
Yeah.
go, oh, that's right. That's fair.
It's a ritual.
It is.
So now we've got two less things to look at.
Okay,
And board supplies, it depends who's on the board, what the supplies are that you need.
that's right.
I know, silly need.
Yeah, we used to have to
Yeah.
supply meals.
Last year, right?
Yeah. Some need to eat and have drinks and snacks.
That right there, we could eliminate that.
That costs only $680 a year. Bring Cindy and Celia back and you need full meals.
Okay. Can we move on?
Probably.
Please.
The 2024 audit. Any updates, Ray?
Yeah, so I spoke to the auditor on Friday. There's nothing pending on our end. They were following up on Artisan. Apparently, Artisan has a deposit on the balance sheet that the auditor couldn't find on the bank statements. So they're currently reviewing that. Patrick told me, Patrick is the auditor, as soon as he gets a response from Artisan, he's not missing anything else to like provide a second draft to the audit. So I'll shoot him an email maybe Wednesday to confirm if Artisan provided the information and to see when we can expect like the second draft.
Do you know who they ask this of at Artisan?
We had a meeting with them and it was Fred Miller. Fred Miller is a regional accounting person for Artisan. Yeah, and he was gonna be personally reviewing this. Yeah.
So to clarify, did you just say that there's a deposit in the financial statements that can't be found in the bank statement?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Artisan had on their balance sheet a deposit on one of their First Citizen accounts that the auditor couldn't find in the bank.
How much was the deposit for?
It was less than $10,000.
Oh, okay. Was it error?
Exactly.
We always get nervous when someone says we can't find a record of a deposit.
It's better a deposit than a withdrawal.
Depends upon how much cash you're handling.
Yes.
Okay, we reviewed the T-bills. I was a little concerned on the Monday Matters today that said, I thought we had agreed that it was gonna be at least $15.
What did it say?
10.
I thought
Board said 10.
it was, cost was $8, right? 8 something
The board approved 10.
yeah.
If I
The
recall.
agreement was 10.
I don't remember.
Is that Lauren?
The agreement was 10.
I don't remember, and I voted on it.
So how much did we spend and how many licenses again?
It was a low number.
The smallest amount.
Yeah.
It was 1,000, yeah.
You got 1,000 licenses. I can't remember the amount.
1,000 and the bill is close to $12,000. And we're ready to pay the deposit.
I'm saying.
I,
So it said
Yeah,
15.
I thought the cost was $12.50 for 1,000, so that came in at $12.5 for the expense. But to Jim's point, why are we absorbing $250 of that cost?
I thought everybody agreed on 15.
I thought the board.
I agreed on it being self-funded. I don't remember the numbers, but that we would not incur any costs, was going to be user pay.
Right.
Right, yeah.
We all agreed on that
I'll
principle.
make a note to look back at all of this after the service area budget meetings tomorrow. And if we need to recorrect some messaging on it, we can do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Just as a sidebar, this Gallagher project, I've found great humor in watching this develop. We spent about $250,000 to $300,000 on this project, and we've now got a few people that are going to use electronic IDs, and I don't know what else it's accomplished for us. I have no idea, and I don't even know if the thing is fully implemented yet. It's been going on for 3 years, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. I think.
I have no idea what's happening with it. None.
All about it. Bill Long knows all about it. He's just had to log on. But he knows.
I'll reach out to him and get it, and I'll pass it around to see what's accomplished, because I know I had to do with some cameras.
The original thing I heard was it was going to be a way to administer a new guest policy and be able to track it.
Mhm.
That seemed to be the driving force behind it, as I remember.
Well, there was also supposed to be like, if you use your card at the fitness center, it would take a picture of you.
Oh, that is not implemented.
That's the way it's been rigorous. Yeah,
Oh, verification of the actual user.
but the digital cards.
Like
now
a TSA?
Gonna have the pictures of whoever gets that, right? They're gonna,
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
It's on your card now.
Yes.
Your pic-
no, but
Yes,
the digital,
the,
the-
the digital
Yeah.
cards, you will come in, take a new picture, and that will be linked to the digital card.
great, okay, thank you.
And it automatically verifies it.
Because up front, they.
Right.
So,
So the software automatically verifies that first.
My point is, we should audit capital expenditures and make sure we're getting what we had in the request or the justification for it.
This one falls under the technology committee. I agree, but the technology committee should do that.
I agree.
yeah, they should give it up.
Yeah.
It's a post audit, and we need to get into post audits on our capital expenditures. And
Yeah.
understand
Lessons
what
learned.
happened.
Okay, I don't think there's any other updates on the 851 insurance claim.
Drop that.
I'll bring a garden hose over, we can check the windows.
Okay, anything else? Anybody want to talk about? If not, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah, before we adjourn, any additional adjustments that you guys want me to make to the financials before I share them with the board?
Just those couple of things that I mentioned to you as to those numbers that aren't tying out.
The capital allocation
The capital
and then the compensation request.
Yeah,
Okay, aside from that, anything else?
I'm good.
When we get I will attempt, I'm not going to make a full commitment, but I will attempt to, when we get the numbers from DeAngelis Diamond on 851, I'll try to share that with this group in advance of the board packet being noticed and all that. Unless they come in at 3.7 or 3.8, like Mike said, and then I don't even want it on the agenda because we got to do something else.
You can make it whatever you want, but I'll bet you it'll be closer to 4 million than it's gonna be to 3.2.
No, I am determined. I am determined that this building costs 3.25 million.
Or cost of the rooms.
I mean, that is not
Mike,
the
I'm
attitude
with
we
you
need
on
on this
this one. I
project.
think
no, I agree.
you're closer to right than 3.2 will ever be.
I build stuff for Disney all the time, and let me tell you what, it never goes over budget. They don't allow that. Doesn't happen. We gotta do it.
Gary, there's one difference. When you represent Disney, there's a little bit of pressure that a contract has by making right with Disney. Us, not so much.
You're the big dog. Disney's the big
We're the
dog.
big
If you go
dogs.
from-
We're not even
It's
a
all just
dog.
how the contract is managed.
Well,
Okay, let me try this again. I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
third.
Aye.
Right.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Public health company. We handle everything, obviously.
Oh, we could.
Everything else. Our annual capital expenditures were $1 billion.